Well, good morning, everybody. So I have a project I have to do this week before we get the injection pump back. Of course, it's Monday, it's Memorial Day, so remembrance to all our veterans of all the wars, and that we remember them today, the sacrifice that they gave. So I'm back in the engine compartment here, and when the mechanic was getting ready to remove the injection pump, he had to remove the hose off the exchanger, the raw water hose. And in doing so, guess what we found in there? So we found a little, where did it go? I don't know where it went to. I was gonna keep it to rebuild. Oh, here it is. Sorry, guys. Here it is. All right. So for anyone who knows anything about marine engines, most of them will have an impeller in them. This is especially if it's water cooled, and this circulates the water through to cool the coolant. So this is a piece of the fin of that wheel, okay? And so here is a new one. I'm going to open it up. I have plenty of old ones because the ones I have replaced is like, why am I taking it out? But this one is a new one. And I think I have a previous video on here where I changed the impeller, an older video. I think I changed the last one probably within 6 months, 7 months maybe a little longer than that, maybe 8 months. So and I haven't ever seen or missed a piece of my impeller, except for when I first bought the boat, and the impeller of that previous owner who had that in there, I took it out because I wanted to look at it and change it and start out new, and it had missing pieces. So I had to go search for them, and I knew exactly where they would be, and those little pieces were up in here, this exchanger right here, okay? They're right in there. They couldn't go any further, even though I took this off to make sure, but my pieces were right here. So I was able to get them out and get them removed and put the impeller back together. So in other words, when you find the pieces or you find these missing, you need to rebuild your impeller and then make sure you have all the pieces, because then the rest of the pieces are either somewhere between this and out into the exchanger and further, so they can block your exchanger. If they get further out, they usually just go out, but if they get jammed in your exchanger, the little tubing in your exchanger, that's not good because it can block. But I've always had plenty of water pressure, like it's always had a great force of water coming out the exhaust. So it'll be interesting. Alright, so I'm gonna have to go ahead, and I've taken the hoses off, and so then all I need to do is remove those 2 bolts right there, and that'll loosen up the belt here, which is the water pump belt. And then my impeller, you have to get to it back here. That's why you have to take this off and turn it around so you can take the plate off. And I'll explain more about that when we get there. All right, so we're gonna take that plate off. Okay, so this is the back of the water pump. I've already disconnected it from the engine, from its bracket there. And then also the belt is off. It's still around the engine part because we don't want to take off the alternator belt. So we just leave that as it is and then hook it back up. So I do have new screws for this. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get them out. Okay, so we're back. I had a hard time once I removed this, right, the water pump. These screws, I got new ones. I should have changed them, but they're brass, and so they are very soft metal. And a couple of them I couldn't. I kind of stripped the head on one of them. See? So it had to take some vice grips, but I had to spray it with that blast stuff, like PB blast. But it's better than. It's by another company. It's Creep. That's it. I knew I'd think of it eventually. So it's Creep, and Creep is a lot better than PB Blaster. So it works pretty quick on some things. Some things you have to do a couple times, but it creeps right in there. That's why they call it Creep, because it creeps right in underneath these heads and stuff, and your bolt heads. So now I cleaned off this, and I've cleaned off the back of this here. So there will be another gasket, paper gasket, that will go on there. And now we got to get this out. And okay, so I went ahead and took 2 hands to pull this out. So I just used needle nose pliers to pull it out. I got it so that it would come up here where there was less fin to hold it in there. So the other thing was, and I'm gonna have to mount that up there, sorry about that. Okay, so this one was about ready to go, see? And I'll have to look to make sure when I changed it, but I know I changed it with it last year. So you fit it in there like that, see? Fit. All right, you make sure you have all your pieces, okay? So and it's like a, you know, you put the puzzle back together, you build it, and you make sure you have all the pieces. So all the pieces are there. This one wasn't lasting much longer. You can see it's just barely hanging on. So yeah, there you go. We got all the pieces. Anyway, so this, okay, so it has to drop on that key. You can see right there is the key. So it goes basically on that, but you've got to get all these little thin things in the right direction. So let me see. And there is a trick to doing it. I may have to end up doing it that way. You got to get them all going the same direction. And on that key. And I lost my key for some reason. There's the key. So yeah, you got to get them all going the same direction. I had this much trouble with one, which is odd. Okay, I got it in there. Okay, so this is the paper gasket that goes on there, just like that. You line it up to the holes. There is a little bevel place there that comes out on the gasket, so that helps you line it up to the holes and in the right place. So that's how you got to do it. You don't put anything on the gasket, and you'll also see that there's a bevel I put out on here because I always want to make sure I'm to the right side of this thing. I really don't think it makes a difference, but you know, you never know. So I like to go the same way. And on here. Okay, so as you can see, there's that bevel little edge there. All right, and that goes up there. So just like that, and you are ready to go. Okay. And my new screws here. Okay, there's supposed to be 6 of them. I just bought a package of screws. They come 10 in a package. I don't know why 10, but I guess some motors have a bigger one, and so they would require more screws. So I only need 6. 1, 2, 4, 6. So there should be 4 left. So in case any of them get boogered up, I've got extra ones, right? Yay. And we'll put those back in here. I've got my numbers to order a new gasket. I do have 3 more gaskets, but I only have 1 more new impeller. So for every impeller I order the gaskets so that I have plenty. In case I have to open it up and there's nothing wrong with the impeller, it doesn't need to be changed, then I have another paper gasket. Okay, so we are back to tightening the bolts. I've already put the water pump and the belt together here, connected the hoses here. See if I can shine a light. So the hose there, and then the other hose here, which is the outside. This one is from the sea strainer. So I need to tighten up this one here and adjust and tighten this up to accord to make the belt tight. Alrighty, here we go. Okay, so we've gone ahead and tightened this up. Kind of tighten this one up is how I do it a little bit, and then adjust it, put a screwdriver in there to be careful, you know, when you're up against the engine. Find a good spot for it, and then just pry it, and then you get it pretty tight, okay? And then you tighten it up, and it shouldn't move after you get it tight enough when you take out the screwdriver. So I think we're done. I can't start it up, can't check for any leaks or anything. I did dump some water in there just to keep moisture on that impeller, and we have to wait until we get the injection pump back to start her up. All right, I am believing I am done for the day. This is usually a very simple project for me, and today I had lots of obstacles. So one was getting out those screws on the back of the plate of the water pump. They weren't coming out very easily, so I had to, you know, take care of that issue, and then we get it all put back together again, and we're good now. All right, catch you later. We'll see what else we're going to add to this video. I'm sure the injection pump is not still going to be ready until after next Friday. I probably won't even get it until a week and a half from now. So we're still waiting. All right, I might post some videos of maybe the area if I go out, take the bus over to the beach or something. Okay, well, it's Saturday evening, and I rode the bus again went and rode the bus to Walmart. I went and got parts yesterday. That was a little longer ride, plus 2 30-minute walks to and from the bus stop once I got in Cocoa to get the parts for the engine. And so I was gonna go and take a walk up on the bridge and watch the sunset, but it keeps threatening to rain and have storm and showers, so we're just gonna be here at the boat and look at the sky. Good morning, happy Sunday. We are going to take a little walk between the showers. It's supposed to rain storms this afternoon, so I decided to get out and do a little walk. and do this little video of Titusville before I upload today. Do some editing and upload, because today's Sunday, right? So yeah, so this will be a little tour and looking over the Indian River, river that goes by here where I'm at Westland, and Sandy Point. There's a park. We went through that a little bit earlier this week. And so yeah, so we're going to take a walk on the bridge, and there's supposed to be a long dock over there, fishing dock. So we'll see what we can find. All right, I think, yeah, no, it's A. Max Brewer. That's it. I got it now. Trouble getting old, you know. A. Max Brewer Bridge, Memorial Bridge. So we'll take a walk on that bridge. And this is the park here. And we're going to take a shortcut through the park to the road. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so we're up walking on the bridge here. So there is a side road down there that goes to a restaurant, Pier something restaurant, which I've never been to. So we'll be crossing the Indian River. So out here, that's the mooring field. Okay, out there, the city mooring field. And then where all those masts are, one of those masts is Blue Dancer. But she's probably a lot lower than some of those taller ones because they're on the hard. And yeah, so yep, so that's where we're at, going up the hill here. It's kind of a uphill because I'm sure it's 65 feet in the middle for boats to get under, sailboats especially. I hope you enjoyed this week's video, and be sure to click subscribe, and of course leave us a comment, and of course hit the thumbs up. That all helps with the promotion of my YouTube channel, and we need help. We always do need help. So anyways, yes, so hopefully next week we will have the injection pump back. Hopefully and by the end of the week in the engine. That might be a tough call, but I'm at least being hopeful. And I did get a call from the company telling me what it was, the injection pump. There is multiple parts that have to be ordered, and it is going to be very expensive just to rebuild the injection pump, unfortunately. But at least we know that it's the injection pump that has been causing most of the issues, not all of the issues. So again, thanks for watching, and hope you join us next week and not miss a video. And of course, I love you, and come back. Thanks. Bye.